So you're thinking about a career in digital marketing, but that first step, it feels like a total mystery, right? Well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to unpack expert Ishan Sharma's 90-day roadmap that takes you from square one, absolute beginner, all the way to a hireable pro. Ready? Let's jump in. I mean, let's be honest. When you look at the world of SEO, social media, and Google Ads, it can feel like this giant, confusing maze. There are so many different paths, so many skills to learn. It's honestly overwhelming just to figure out where to even begin.
But what if you had a map? That's really the solution here. A structured, step-by-step, 90-day plan that takes this massive goal and just breaks it down into small, totally manageable chunks.
So, here's the game plan for today. First, we'll look at the big picture, the overall roadmap. Then, we're going to break down each 30-day phase, learning, practicing, and then getting real experience. And to wrap it all up, we'll talk about what it really takes to win in this field for the long haul. It's a super clear path from start to finish. You know, the beauty of this 90-day roadmap is how simple it is. It's built on three really distinct phases, and each one lasts 30 days. It all starts with learning, then it moves into practice, and it all comes together when you start gaining real-world experience. So let's kick things off with phase one, learning.
All right, welcome to your first 30 days. The goal here is simple. Build a solid foundation of knowledge. This isn't about trying to learn everything at once. That's like drinking from a fire hose. No, this is all about focused, intentional learning on what actually matters. And listen up, because this is probably the most critical decision you're gonna make in this phase. You have to pick one path and go all in. Why? It's simple. Companies don't hire generalists, they hire specialists. So whether it's SEO or social media, pick your lane. That focus, it's absolutely non-negotiable.
Now, let's talk about the number one enemy to your progress, shiny object syndrome. You know what I mean. It's that temptation to be working on SEO, but then you hear something cool about Google Ads and you want to jump over there. According to our source, that is the single worst thing you can do. Sticking to your path is how you build that deep expertise that actually gets you hired. And you know what the best part is? You don't need some expensive degree to do this. You can learn pretty much anything in digital marketing for free. Seriously. Places like HubSpot Academy, SEMrush's courses, and YouTube channels from pros like Neil Patel and Brian Dean, they are absolute gold mines of information, and they're just sitting there, waiting for you. But, learning the theory is really only half the battle. If you want to truly be effective in the digital marketing world, you have to master the industry's tools. Think of them like your secret weapons. They make you faster, smarter, and way, way more hireable. So, whatever path you chose, you've got to learn the tools that go with it. Let's say you picked SEO. That means you need to be living inside platforms like SEMrush and Ahrefs. For instance, you could use SEMrush's keyword magic tool and discover that people aren't just searching for running shoes. They're looking for something super specific like best trail running shoes for wide feet. Wow, that's a total game changer for your strategy. Then you can hop over to Ahrefs to see which websites are ranking for that exact phrase, check out who's linking to them, and figure out their whole strategy. Knowing these tools lets you walk into an interview and solve real problems, not just talk about theories. All right, you've spent a solid 30 days learning. Now it is time to get your hands dirty. For the next 30 days, your focus is going to shift completely to practice. This is where all that theory meets reality, and that abstract knowledge starts to become a real, tangible skill. And honestly, this is why this phase is so important. As Ishan Sharma says, this is what separates the talkers from the doers. I mean, anyone can go get a certificate online, but actually building something, even if it's small, that gives you genuine, real-world experience.
So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, here's a perfect example. Take something simple like a t-shirt. Set a tiny budget for yourself, maybe just 20 bucks, then launch a real ad campaign. All of a sudden, those acronyms like CPC, your cost per click, and ROAS, your return on ad spend, they're not just words in a textbook anymore. They're real numbers that you can track, analyze, and most importantly, learn from.
And that's really the ultimate goal of this phase. It's not about making a bunch of money. It's about creating a case study. You're building tangible proof of your skills, something you can actually walk into an interview with, point to, and say, I didn't just learn about this, I've actually done it. Okay, we are now in the home stretch, the final 30 days. You've got the knowledge, you've got a project that proves you can apply it. Now it's time to leverage all that hard work to land your first professional opportunity, whether that's an internship, a freelance client, or a full-time job.
So where do you even start looking? Well, the source points out some fantastic platforms. Well-Found, which you might know as AngelList, is amazing for finding internships at really cool startups. Work at a startup.com is super focused on jobs at Y Combinator companies, some of the most innovative out there. And of course, you've got freelance platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, which are perfect for landing that very first client. But here's a pro tip. Don't just passively apply and wait by the phone. The source recommends a much more proactive strategy. Go find startups that just got funding. You know they have money and they're looking to grow. Find the email address for the founder or the head of marketing and send them a direct email. Show them the project you built and explain exactly how your skills can help them. And this is the part that ties it all together. When you're in that interview and they ask, "So what experience do you have?" Your personal project is your answer. It is the best proof of concept you have. It shows you've got initiative, you've got practical skills, and you have a genuine passion for this stuff. That's way more powerful than any certificate you could ever get. Okay, so you've made it through the 90-day plan and you landed that first role. First of all, congratulations. But how do you build a successful long-term career in a field that seems to change at lightning speed? Well, this final part is all about the mindset and habits you need to not just survive, but to actually thrive. It really boils down to 3 essential habits. First, you have to be relentlessly curious. Stay on top of new trends like chat SEO. Second, constantly upgrade your toolkit. Make it a habit to check out sites like futuretools.io to see what new AI tech can give you an edge. And finally, and this is a big one, you have to be okay with failing. Digital marketing is all about running experiments. You have to look at the data, learn from what didn't work, and then try again, but smarter. So there you have it, a complete 90-day roadmap to launch your career in digital marketing. You have the phases, you have the resources, you have the strategies. The only question left is, what's your first step going to be?